Dragi prijatelji, dobar dan, dobar večer svima. Iako je još vani lijepo i toplo i sunčano, 20 sati, pozdrav svima vama koji ćete nam se priključiti putem YouTube snimke sutra, preksutra i u narednim danima. Evo, veliko nam je zadovoljstvo što možemo danas pozdraviti Victoryja Craxija. Victory je Svamijev student, Victory je također i koordinator mladih i Victory je ajurvedski liječnik. Tako da će nam danas biti evo jedna prekrasna prilika porazgovarati sa Victoryjem o mnogim trenucima i vremenima koja povezuju sve nas, a to su česti odlasci u Prašanti Nilajam, gdje smo mogli promatrati Svamijeve studente, sanjariti da smo, evo ja sam bio taj koji je sanjario da sam ja njegov student, pa danas će biti prilike malo čuti od Victoryja i o tome kako je Victory živio i kako je izgledalo za vrijeme studentskih dana osnovne i srednje škole. A isto tako, bit će prilika od Victoryja doznati mnoge zanimljivosti koje se danas događaju zadnjih 10 godina u svijetu i Europi i u svijetu kada govorimo o Svamiju, o njegovoj misiji, o tome sve što rade mladi u Europi i diljem svijeta, ali isto tako čuti mnoge zanimljivosti evo, koje se vezuju uz sve ono što se odnosi i na našu transformaciju, osobito evo na priliku da sudjelujemo u Svamijevoj misiji. So Victory, I just announced you and I'm said that I'm so happy that we can welcome you, warmly welcome you in this nice summer Sunday evening.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Yes. And Victory, as we wrote in the invitation, first things, what we said that you're a Swami student, and this reminds us of these beautiful memories that we all have with Swami. One of my first questions will be definitely how it was in those days. I thought you were born in Italy, but you were born in India, and your parents lived in Prašanti Nilayam, and you and your sisters went to Swami school.
Yeah. Yes. Going back in time through memory lane, thinking about Puttaparthi, I always say, given the chance, I would do it again.
Victory baš spomenuo kako uvijek kada se sjeti svih tih vremena. Victory, please just repeat it one time. I just had a little break in my Zoom.
Yeah, given the chance, I would do this all over again.
Da imam priliku, ja bih to opet učinio.
Yeah. Yes, so much was given. So much was received from me.
Toliko je dano i toliko je primljeno od mene.
And with this comes great responsibility.
I sa tim naravno dolazi odgovornost.
Swami has said this many times, especially of late.
Svami je to mnogo puta spominjao, posebno u zadnjim vremenima.
We will get to that point and talk about it soon, but
growing up, malo kasnije govoriti.
Growing up in Puttaparthi was growing up in a safe haven.
Odrastanje u Puttaparthi, to je bilo odrastanje u sigurnom raju.
And I learned this the harsh way.
Da, to je naučio je na, ne bi točno mogu sad moći prevesti.
The hard way.
Da, hard way, težak način.
Because after I finished my schooling in Parthi, I continued my studies in India.
Nakon završetka školovanja u Puttaparthi nastavio svoje studije u Indiji.
But it was a completely different setup compared to the ashram. It was completely different.
Ali to je bilo potpuno drugačiji način življenja, drugačiji setup u usporedbi sa onim što je bilo u Prašantiju.
So it came as a bit of a shock to me.
Da, to je bio naravno veliki šok. So I also thought to ask you, how it was this transition, from ashram to Europe or to, as you said, to studying.
Europe came later. Europe was again another story. Europe came much later. For Europe, I always...
Život u Europi došlo mnogo kasnije, ali prvo je studirao u Indiji.
About Europe, whenever people ask me, oh, it must be difficult. You were born in India, brought up in India. How are you managing over here? It must be really difficult.
Vrlo često ga ljudi pitaju, pa kako je to bilo? Dakle, rođen si u Indiji, odrastao si u Ašom i kako je sigurno bilo jako teško kada si se vratio u Europu.
And I say it normally takes 9 hours to fly from India to Europe. It took me 9 years.
Dakle, obično treba 8 sati da se dođe iz Indije do Europe, međutim, meni je trebalo 8 godina da napravim taj prijelaz.
Just to give an idea, yeah.
Da, samo da vidite kako je to zapravo razlika i kako je to teško bilo.
Yeah, but then I was picked up and saved.
Da. Ali kaže, on je bio ovako uzet i spašen. Da.
That's again a wonderful story. Yeah.
To je još jedna lijepa priča. You know, Victory, when you are thinking and reminding these days, what pictures came to your mind? What arise from your heart when you're thinking about Svami and these days? Dakle, pitao sam ga koje slike mu dolaze iz uma i srca kada se sjeti Svamije tih dana.
That thirst and need for his love.
Želja i potreba za Svamijem.
That was all that drove us and woke us up every morning in our school in Patti.
A to je sve što nas je pokretalo, što nas je budilo ujutro u Puttapartiju. Želja i žeđ za Svamijem.
Everything else came as second.
Sve drugo dolazilo poslije.
And when I say he picked me up, I mean,
kažem, on me uzeo i spasio.
I mean, he gave that back to me, but 10 times fold.
On mi to stvarno napravio, ali 10 puta više, 10 puta jače.
So that is the current situation.
To je takva situacija. Swami usually said that his love is like love of 1000 mothers. So, you know, I just remember this quote when I was listening to you. Dakle, rekao sam ono što smo svi puno puta čuli, da je Svamijeva ljubav kao ljubav 1000 majki. Evo, to mi je došlo kao misao dok sam slušao Victoryja.
In hindsight, I can share with you that love has always been there, is there.
Ta ljubav je uvijek s nama i uvijek je tu.
But as Swami many times he says on the spiritual path, the only enemy is yourself.
Kao i Svami vrlo često kaže, znači njegova ljubav je to, međutim naš najveći neprijatelj smo mi sami sebi.
And I experienced that. Without realizing it, I had become my own enemy.
Da, ja sam to iskusio, ja sam stvarno postao sam sebi najgori neprijatelj.
And then again, when I say he picked me up, it's because he showed me that. He made me realize it.
I on mi je zapravo pomogao da osvijestim to, da me on digao i da me spasio bio. I think, Victory, that all of us can connect with this experience you're talking now. And you said, okay, we'll talk about it later. I think because this is also important because of youth, and lots of youth, you're a coordinator for youth. And I think this message is also very important for youth, because very, very often in this young age, we are struggling, searching for job, for money, for some independent position. And in this period of life, inner strength and self-confidence, and especially rely on God, is so important. Yeah. So that's the reason, you know, why Swami pick you and put you as a coordinator, because you can tell and from your own experience say many important things, because you had this great mercy to be with Swami, and also, as you said, you're save and pick up, you know. So you have also experience of this other side.
Yes, a great privilege. A great privilege. And with privilege comes responsibility. A great responsibility, as Swami said.
Da, privilegijama dolazi odgovornost. Da, znači sa time što je imao dolazi i velika odgovornost.
Swami has said, you have received, all of you have received so much.
Swami je rekao, vi ste svi primili toliko mnogo.
And this holds true for each and every one of us, not just for his students.
To je istina za sve nas, ne samo za njegove studente, već i za sve nas, njegove poklonike, da smo jako mnogo primili.
His grace has been the same for all of us.
Njegova milost je bila jednaka za sve.
But what are we going to do with all that we received? No?
Ali što ćemo mi napraviti sa svim tim što smo primili?
Do we want to feel him close to us again, like once?
Da li mi ga želimo opet osjetiti blizu nas kao nekad?
How about making the people feel him through our actions?
A kako zvuči to da ljudi osjete njega kroz naše akcije?
Because as he said, God is love, and love can be felt through empathy, through compassion.
Jer mi znamo da je Bog ljubav, a ta ljubav se može osjetiti kroz empatiju, kroz suosjećanje.
You see that in the eyes of someone you have helped, that is Swami.
I kada vidimo nekome u oči kome smo pomogli, tu ljubav, to je upravo Svami. Talking about this, Swami said many times that people needs to see him in our actions, as you just said previously, and that's the reason why service is so important. So service in India is quite different than service in Europe. Very often we realize that in Europe, Seva projects are not so strong as Seva projects in India. What do you think? Why is that? And what message can you say to us, to young people? What should we do different or more? Or what do you think?
I think that to each one their own time, but what's important is that to not lose sight of one truth.
Ne smijemo izgubiti iz vida jednu istinu.
You see, all this seva that Swami has set up all over the world and also in India.
Gledajte seve koje je Svami napravio diljem svijeta i u Indiji.
They seem like these are projects which are going to save, societies and humanity.
Svi su to projekti koji imaju za cilj da pomognu i čak i spase društvo, čovječanstvo.
But the real truth is hidden.
Ali prava istina je skrivena.
Never fall at the face of things with Swami.
Nikad nemojmo gledati samo vanjsku stranu Svamija.
There is always something deep. Always.
Uvijek postoji nešto mnogo dublje.
For example, let's look at the Sanjivani hospitals.
Na primjer, pogledajmo Sanjivani bolnice.
From a spiritual point of view, what is happening over there?
Sa duhovnog motrišta, što se ondje događa?
The way I see it, the way my mother sees it.
I ono kako to ja vidim, kako to moja majka vidi, ja samo da kažem, njegova majka je baš bila poznata po tome što je napisala knjige o EHV-u.
He is repairing the heart of humanity itself.
On popravlja srce čovječanstva na taj način.
Through the repairing of little hearts, he is repairing this planet's heart.
Kroz popravljanje, odnosno kroz operaciju na tim malim srcima koji se odvijaju u bolnicama, on popravlja srce čovječanstva.
Through the repairing of little hearts, he is giving opportunities to everyone to open their heart.
Kroz popravljanje tih malih srca on daje priliku svima nama da popravimo svoje srce.
Because, in that sense, this is what we mean when we thank Swami for giving us an opportunity to do good.
To zapravo znači kada mi zahvaljujemo Svamiju da nam daje priliku da činimo dobro.
As he has said many times, these projects will hold no purpose if your transformation doesn't occur.
Kao što je mnogo puta rekao, svi ti projekti veliki nemaju smisla ako se nije dogodila i naša transformacija. Ako se ona nije pojavila.
If your transformation has not happened, then no use. These projects have no sense.
A ako se naša transformacija nije pojavila, onda zapravo ti projekti nemaju smisla.
And this is how he is pushing things forward even today.
I to je način kako on stvari miče, kako on stvari pomiče i danas. Yeah.
So the truth is what? As I was saying in the beginning, what truth am I referring to?
I što je istina? Ono na što se ja referiram je
the truth is, these are opportunities, firstly. Secondly,
prvo, to su sve prilike, to su sve opportunities za nas.
Secondly, with God, with the avatar, nobody, absolutely nobody is indispensable.
Da, i posebno sa avatarom, sa Bogom, nitko nije, can you repeat this last word? Nobody
Indispensable,
is
indispensable.
indispensable. Saša, Maja, šta bi bilo indispensable?
Neophodan je on jedini koji može to napraviti.
Da, hvala ti, Saša.
So what does this mean? This means that at the most, who will lose over here if we don't agree to be part of this? Swami won't lose anything.
Znači, Svami zapravo neće ništa izgubiti. Jedini koji mogu nešto izgubiti smo mi ako ne iskoristimo tu priliku.
Today we had a satsang. Swami spoke.
Danas smo imali satsang i Svami je govorio.
And Swami said, there is nothing. He was talking specifically about a project that is going to be inaugurated soon.
Znači, Svami je govorio o jednom projektu koji će vrlo brzo biti inauguriran.
But he said, nothing can come in the way of divine will.
Znači, rekao je, ništa ne može se spriječiti Božjoj volji.
I have already seen the hospital. It is already ready. It has to manifest on the material plane.
Ja sam već vidio tu bolnicu, ona je spremna, ona se treba samo materializirati na fizičkom planu.
So, in spite of us, even if we are there or not there, this will happen.
Usprkos nama, bili mi tamo ili ne, to će se dogoditi.
So it is this what he meant when he said, at the most, you are the enemy of yourself. Nobody else can stop you from doing good, apart from yourself.
To je ono što je Svami rekao, vi sami sebi ste neprijatelji i nitko vas ne može spriječiti od toga da radite dobro osim vas samih.
So as youth, we should never forget this truth, that where there is good, there is God, and the only impediment to us doing good is ourselves.
Da, znači jedina smetnja ili prepreka da činimo dobro možemo biti mi sami sebi. Da, thank you for reminding us of all these universal truths that we are here because of our transformation, and Swami is loving all of us equally, but we are deciding how we will respond to this love and how much how much love will be born from us, and this love can be born in our service to society and also in our transformation. Talking about this, many hospitals, many institutions are now being opened. Lately, I can share. It is really amazing to read about all these annual reports from Sai institutions from Mudanahali. There are 27 campuses, 33 institutions. There are now 3 hospitals in India, 1 in Sri Lanka, 1 in Fiji. So many amazing things happened in these last 10 years in this Sukshma mission. So, Victoryja, talking about this Sukshma mission, you were in Europe when Swami take Mahasamadhi. Can you tell us maybe your first contact with Sukshma, how it was, when it was? Evo, i sam da kažem da sam rekao kako se nevjerojatne stvari se događaju u Sai misiji nakon Svamijevog odlaska iz tijela i kako su u Mudanahali za onih 10 godina, kako je napravljeno 5 bolnica, 3 u Indiji, 2 izvan Indije, na Šri Lanci i na Fidžiju, kako je otvoreno 33 institucije, 27 kampusa je otvoreno. Dakle, stvarno je fascinantno za promatrati što se sve dogodilo. Pa sam pitao Victoryja gdje je Victoryja bio kada je prvi put čuo za Sukshma Saija i kako je bio njegov prvi kontakt sa Sukshma Saijem.
I'd like to start from April 2011.
Želio bih početi sa aprilom 2011.
when I was out at a cafe with some classmates because I was studying Ayurveda then.
I tada sam studirao Ayurvedu i bio sam s nekim kolegama sa svoje godine.
And one of my friends, a Swedish friend, he says, "Have you heard?
Jedan moj prijatelj Švedske rekao, jesi li čuo?
I'm so sorry, my condolences. Have you heard?"
Ja sam izrazio moje svoje saučešće i pitao ga, jesi li čuo?
I said, "What? What do you mean?"
Ja sam pitao šta, na šta misliš?
And he gave me the news of Swami having left the mortal coil.
I onda mi je dao izvještaj o tome da je Svami napustio svoje smrtni ogrtač.
I excuse myself with a lump in my throat and I go back to my apartment.
Ja sam se tada ispričao, otišao sam u svoj apartment, u svoj stan.
And while I am on the scooter on the way home, I am calming myself down. I'm trying to calm myself down.
I pokušavam samog sebe smiriti dok se vozim na motoru prema svom domu.
For there was a part of me which was very serene about it.
Jedan dio mene je bio, you said what? See? One part
Serene,
of you?
serene, very calm.
Aha, jedan dio mene je bio vrlo miran.
So I was silent about this. I go home, I see the news and everything.
Bio sam vrlo u tišini i gledao sam novine.
In hindsight, I can tell you that for 3 days,
I tada 3 dana,
in hindsight, for 3 days, I felt utter peace and presence.
ja sam osjećao nevjerojatan mir i njegovu prisutnost.
And I remember telling my brothers and sisters from Parthi who were despairing and who were crying and sad about it. I remember telling them, he said,
Ja se sjećam da sam tada
Swami's
svojim
words.
braći iz Puttaparte govorio, koji su bili očajni, koji su plakali.
I remember telling them Swami's words where he said, he's not the body,
Ja se sjećam kako sam govorio, ali Svami nije tijelo.
that he is still with us.
On je i dalje s nama.
So that passed very quickly for me.
To je prošlo vrlo brzo za mene.
In the sense that I got sucked in again into the world.
I ja sam opet bio u svijetu jer sam morao raditi.
You know, I finished my university. I come to live in Europe.
Završio sam svoj fakultet, vratio sam se u Europu, u Italiju.
Years upon years of hardship,
I nije bilo lagano.
which pushed me towards spirituality again.
I to me opet potjeralo prema duhovnosti.
So all the difficulties I was going through
I kroz sve teškoće kroz koje sam prolazio,
made me look for him and pray for him and pine for him even more.
činilo me da još više težim, da još više vapim prema njemu i za njim.
And that's when this happened.
I to je kada se dogodilo ono što smo pričali na početku, da ga je Svami uzeo i spasio.
To make a long story short, and if you want, I'll send you the article I wrote of my first experience of the subtle form.
Ok, dakle, Victoryjem nam je rekao da to je duga priča koju će on učiniti kratkom i postići nam svoj članak o tome kako je to bilo prvi kontakt, pa je možemo prevesti.
But the essence of my experience I would like to share here.
Ali želim s vama podijeliti esencu svog iskustva.
The essence can be described only in the following words.
A ta esenca se može samo sa sljedećim riječima prepričati.
When I reached Muddanahalli, I was in desperate look for.
Kada sam došao u Muddanahalli, bio sam u očajničkoj potrazi.
For a sign.
Za znak.
I went there prepared for anything.
Ja sam bio tamo spreman za sve.
And I had promised myself that I would be true to what I experienced.
I obećao sam samom sebi da ću povjerovati ono što iskusim.
Either way.
Da, ili nikako, da.
Because experience, Ayurveda also says, direct experience is the best way of getting information.
Znači, najbolje imati vlastno iskustvo za potvrđivanje istine.
So you'll be able to read in the article the details, but basically when it happened that my mind was just flattened out by his grace, because it was full of questions, full of doubts, no?
Moj um je imao puno pitanja, puno sumnji, dvojbi, međutim, zahvaljujući njegove milosti, sve je to
But when he graced me by just flattening it out, by annulling my mind, by eliminating it fully,
Znači on je zapravo spustio svoju milost i eliminirao njegov um.
I experienced an explosion of Swami himself within me.
Da, i osjetio eksploziju Svamija unutar samog sebe.
And what is Swami, he has always told us, is love.
I što je Svami? Uvijek nam je govorio, Svami je ljubav.
But such a kind of love that I had experienced only in one other place with one other person, Puttaparthi.
Ali takva ljubav kakvu smo iskusili samo na jednom mjestu i samo s jednom osobom, a to je bilo Puttaparthi.
Sai Baba.
Sai Baba. I to je naravno Sai Baba.
But there was a big difference this time.
Ali bila je velika razlika ovog puta.
You see, in Parthi it was, yes, of course, his love was there.
Puttaparthi, naravno, njegova ljubav je bila tamo.
But it was a physical exchange.
Ali to je bila fizička razmjena.
Over here there was no physical exchange.
Ovdje nije bilo te fizičke razmjene.
And since that happened,
I kako se to dogodilo?
it is the vision that my heart gives me that supersedes the vision of my eyes.
Dakle, tada sam u svom srcu imao viziju, vision of
my eyes.
Aha, imao viziju svojih očiju.
Yeah.
Ne, da je reći da više ima vjere u unutarnju viziju nego viziju.
Da, hvala te, Saša.
Thank you. In other words, this experience has opened the doors to discovering new parts of my inner being.
Dakle, to iskustvo me je pomoglo da otkrije nove dijelove svog unutarnjeg bića.
Side by side, letting go of the physicality.
Znači, korak po korak, otpuštajući tu fizičku dimenziju.
Very recently, Swami said, because now I don't know how many of you know, but since Swami's last birthday last year,
znači ne znam koliko vas zna, ali prošlog rođendana,
Swami said we are entering a new phase now.
Swami je rekao da ulazimo u novu fazu.
And he said if there is any attachment to any form, people will suffer.
I rekao je ako će postojati bilo kakva vezano za formu, ljudi će patiti.
The way I see it, at least the way I'm living the present moment, is that the only permissible form is the form in my heart.
I znači način kako ja živim i kako mi se čini da za mene jedino ostvarivo jest živeći formu unutar samog sebe.
At the same time, that same form is still carrying out a mission in the form of a guru, of a sadguru.
I istovremeno ta forma i dalje živi i radi na misiji u formi sadgurua.
And the respect for both the forms is the same.
Da, i poštovanje prema obje forme je jednako. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for this experience. Today, when I was reading about all this, what happened in last 10 years, again and again, I get the same impression in my mind, and it was, it is only possible to God. And for me, it is really a question how people can't see that this is the same side, because what happened through this man, Sri Madhusudan Sai, only God can manifest this amazing trust, hospitals, institutions, projects. Every day, 500,000 Indian children got the breakfast. So it is amazing what Swami did through his vehicle, through Sri Madhusudan Sai. First, he was his student, then he became his vehicle, then he became one with Swami, and through Madhusudan Sai, we was witnessing what happened when man transcended to God. And now we had, as you said, we had a Sadguru. you also had an experience with Madhusudan, Sri Madhusudan Sai, with Swami in subtle body. I'm purposely, putting all these names because, only one love and one energy. Taking all this instrument and all these names, and this is energy of God. Can you share with us some experience you had in all these opportunities in Italy when Swami in subtle form came to Italy?
In Assisi.
Also this is also one very important topic for us because, as you know, in Croatia we are also still planning to build the ashram, and we are happy that in Italy you had ashram in Assisi. So now we are having two topics: your connection with Swami in subtle body in Italy, and also ashram in Italy.
What do you mean? Pardon me, but what do you mean by my connection in Italy, subtle body? What do you mean by that?
No. I thought maybe to share with us some experience regarding Swami 5 times visit Italy, and you also had the opportunity to be with him and to witness many important things.
Actually, Borna, now that you make me go back and remember, it all seems like a dream.
Ja sam s vami, pitao sam Victoryja čisto da nam ispriča neke zgode, jer Svami je 5 puta u svom suptilnom tijelu bio u Italiji. I tamo imamo
Swami in Italy 2 times.
Iskusio sam Svamija u Italiji 2 puta.
Yes, 2 times, if memory serves. Yes, 2 times. And both the times I was just floating on air, man. I mean, I don't know how to describe it.
Ne mogu uopće opisati kako bi on to opisao.
For me, the greatest gift experiencing, having that physical experience with him over here, the greatest gift was
fizičko iskustvo s njim.
The greatest gift was completely eliminating the distance between myself and what I thought I was missing in India.
Znači, ono što je napravio je uklonio tu distancu između onoga što ima ovdje i onoga što je mislio da ima samo Indiju.
Because for many years, especially through those very hard years, I thought I was missing India.
I u svim tim godinama, posebno onim teškim godinama za mene, mislio sam da mi nedostaje Indija.
Indian food.
Indijska hrana.
But then after having experienced this Swami here,
ali kada sam tako iskusio Svamija ovdje,
I realized that I was missing that connection with him, not India.
Da shvatio sam da mi nedostaje konekcija sa njim, a ne sa Indijom.
And through that experience, he has made me realize that India is within me.
I kroz to iskustvo mi je pomoglo da shvatim da je Indija u meni.
If I have to live this entire life, if Swami says don't visit India ever again, I don't think it would be that difficult.
Da mi Svami kaže nemoj sad više nikada posjetiti Indiju do kraja svog života, mislim da mi to ne bi bilo toliko teško.
And if he were to tell me that,
a da mi on to želi reći,
I would tell him on one condition.
Ja bih mu rekao samo pod jednim uvjetom.
That you don't leave me.
Da me nikada ne ostaviš.
Or you please make sure that I don't leave you again.
I molim te učini da ja nikada tebe ne ostavim.
Because going back to what I said, he never leaves us.
I govoreći onome što sam rekao, on nas nikada ne ostavlja.
He is right there, the millimeter beyond our free will.
On je ovdje 1 milimetar od naše slobodne volje.
So at the most, we have to understand how to use our will.
I zato mi moramo razumjeti kako trebamo koristiti svoju slobodnu volju.
The ashram in Assisi.
Ashram u Assisiju.
Swami, the first time he made a trip with a small group of people to Assisi.
Prvi put je Svami napravio putovanje sa malom grupom ljudi u Assisi.
I think it was 2015, 2016.
To je bilo 15. ili 16.
And there was Ampelio.
I gospodin Ampelio.
And Swami was standing with him, and he looks at the countryside.
I Svami je stajao kraj njega i gledao je u krajobraz.
And Swami said, every blade of grass over here still resonates with Saint Francis's love for God.
Svaka tratka ovdje rezonira sa ljubavlju Svetoga Franje. To je rekao Ampelio.
Assisi is a very special place energy-wise because Saint Francis has left so much light.
Da, i to je vrlo posebno mjesto, jer Sveti Franjo Asiški je ostavio jako mnogo svjetlosti tamo.
And Swami said, let's build an ashram here.
I Svami je rekao, napravimo ashram ovdje.
So he started giving instructions to Ampelio, how it should be, how big it should be, in what direction it should be facing, etc., etc.
Znači, krenuo davati Ampeliju upute kako treba izgledati, kako treba izgrađen biti.
That the ashram should be above the road that leads up to it.
Znači da ashram treba biti iznad ceste koja vodi prema njemu.
And such little details.
I takve davao detalje.
And when Ampelio he chose about 3 or 4 houses to buy.
I Ampelio je tada mu pokazao 3 ili 4 kuće koje su planirali kupiti.
He went to Mudanahalli with these folders. He prepared folders.
Otišao je u Mudanahalli sa tim folderima gdje su bile te kuće.
And he kept the folders in a bag. He kept them in a bag.
Da, i držao ih je torbi, te foldere.
So he goes into the interview room.
Išao u intervju sobu.
He bends down to take the first folder without looking which one it is.
I samo izvukao prvi folder, da nije ni pogledao koji je.
And Swami says, yes, that's it.
Yes.
That's the one.
I Svami rekao, da, to je taj.
And Ampelio says, wait, let me take it out.
Ali čekaj da ti izvadim, da ti pokažem.
He says, no, that's the one. It's fine, that's the one.
Rekao, ne, to je u redu, to je taj.
Ampelio insists because Ampelio has a very friendly relationship with Swami. He has always had this relationship. And he said, at least give me the satisfaction of showing it to you, no?
A onda Ampelio, koji je zapravo imao uvijek vrlo blizak odnos sa Svamijevim, jer oni su još u Prašantiju su tamo uvijek kuhali, i rekao, ali daj barem meni to satisfakciju da ti ja pokažem kako to izgleda.
Actually, when it comes to the ashram, a very old anecdote comes to mind.
Kada pričamo o ashramu, jedna anegdota mi dolazi u um.
When I was still in the womb, so it was 81.
Znači, kada sam još uvijek bio u utrobi svoje majke, znači to je bilo 81. godine.
My parents were present for an evening with Swami, and also other people were there.
Moji roditelji su bili pozvani na večeru sa Svamijem i drugi ljudi su bili tada prisutni.
And Swami materialized this medallion.
Svami je materializirao jedan medaljon.
On one side there was the map of India, on the other side there was encrusted diamonds on the border of it.
I na jednoj strani je bila materializirana slika Indije, na drugoj strani su bili dijamanti.
18 of them.
18 njih.
And Swami said, these precious stones symbolize the 18 ashrams I will open in the world one day.
I Svami je rekao, ovih 18 dijamanata, ovih 18 kamena prezentiraju 18 ashrama koje će otvoriti jednog dana.
This was in 81.
To je bilo 81. godine.
Yeah. So coming back to the ashram in Assisi, actually, when I was there with Swami the first time during the inauguration,
I kada vratimo se priču na ashramu, kad sam bio prvi put tamo sa Svamijem na inauguraciji,
we were there for about 2 to 3 days with Swami.
Bili smo tada na 2-3 dana sa Svamijem.
And Swami said, every chance he got, whenever he passed by in front of me, he would hold my hands.
Svaki put kada je prolazio kraj mene, uvijek je iskoristio priliku da me primi za ruke.
He would hold my hands and say, bring the youth here.
I uzeo me uvijek za ruke i rekao je, dovedi mlade ovdje.
So first time he said that, I said, okay, Swami, and then he continued. Second time he said, I asked more information.
Znači, prvi put je rekao, ok, drugi put je tražio više informacija.
Okay, Swami, what do you mean by youth? What is
U redu, Svami, kad kažeš mladima, šta misliš?
So he said, specifically these meets, I am giving an age limit of 45.
Znači, specifično mislim na mlade ispod 45. godine.
But this does not mean that other people cannot visit, obviously.
Ali to ne znači da naravno i drugi ljudi tamo ne mogu doći.
Right? Only these meets are specifically, Swami gave that instruction.
Znači, za samo te susrete Svami dao specifične upute. Znači, da se tamo održavaju susreti mladih ispod 45 godina.
Then the third time again he caught my hands and he said, bring the youth here. I said, yes, Swami, how many times a year?
I tada po treći put kada je opet prolazio, kada ga primio za ruke i kada je opet rekao dovedi mlade ovdje, onda ga je Viktor pitao Svami koliko puta godišnje.
He said, make it 4 times a year. Every 3 months you come.
Napravi to 4 puta godišnje, znači svaka 3 mjeseca da dođu ovdje.
So we started doing that.
Mi smo počeli to raditi.
If you're interested, I'll send you the link to where we have the summaries of all the meets we have done till now.
I proslijedit ćemo preko lista linkove sa svim susretima koji su imali do sada.
Audio visual summary and also written summaries.
I svjedočanstva koje su u pisanoj i audio-vizualnoj formi.
So you can have an idea, yes? And of course, since the pandemic, the frequency has decreased. We haven't been able yet to reach again 4 per year. Today we held one in May. This year we held one in May.
Znači, zbog pandemije se, naravno, ta učestalost se smanjila i nismo ih mogli imati. Ove godine smo imali jedan u maju. And now we are preparing also in September, in the first weekend of September.
First weekend of September, yes, yes.
Da, i ove godine se planira opet i u prvom vikendu septembra. So this is also a good opportunity for all of us to pass this information to you.
Yes. Also, usually these weekends, during these weekends, the Sunday is usually open to anybody who wants to visit. The Saturday.
Subota je uvijek otvorena za sve ljude koji žele ondje doći.
It's like a day visit, not to stay, but a day visit.
Za posjete, da.
So that possibility is there if anybody wants to organize a trip.
Da, evo, to je za sve one koji žele doći, bez obzira naravno na godine, da mogu i u subotu doći. And this year, one Buddhist monk will come, as we saw in the invitation.
And I think it's perfect timing, Borna, that the Buddhist monk is coming now. I'll tell you why.
I mislim da je sada pravo vrijeme, jer bit će gost jedan budistički monah i kaže Viktor, mislim da je sada pravo vrijeme za njegov dolazak.
As you know, we are all being guided by our Sadguru to go from.
Svi smo mi vođeni od našeg Sadguru.
To go from. To take the step further, to take things one step further.
Da odemo jedan korak dalje.
From bhakti yoga to something more than bhakti yoga.
Od bhakti ode na nešto, bhakti znači od joge predanosti na nešto mnogo više.
So, for that to happen,
da bi se to dogodilo,
there has to be a de-identification, disidentification. I don't know if that exists.
Znači, da bi se to dogodilo, mora doći do odvajanja, do razdvajanja, da se zapravo prestanemo poistovjećivati.
Yes, because as beautiful as it can be, our relationship with Swami, as beautiful as it can be,
kao što naš odnos sa Svami može biti najljepši, najdivniji,
the root lies within us.
Put leži unutar nas.
And we have to start watering that root.
I mi moramo zapravo ići tom cestom, tim putem. Moramo njega navodnjavati.
And give priority to that.
I moramo dati prioritet tom unutarnjem putu.
So, the Buddhist way,
budistički put,
follows the same concept of each one for themselves.
Budistički put slijedi koncept.
Bhakti yoga is not the Buddhist way.
Bhakti yoga nije budistički put.
Bhakti yoga is the Jnana yoga way. Buddhism is the Jnana yoga way.
Budizam je put mudrosti, Jnana yoga way.
So I think it's very apt. It's perfect timing, I think.
I pravi put za to. And also in Katha Upanishad and Master of the Mind, Svami show us the way.
Yes, yes.
And talking about this topic, and also the topic about self-realization, transformation of ourselves, is the way what Swami is teaching us. And in last months, very often he said, Sai mission is your mission.
Yes.
And this is one of the most important topic and opportunity also for us. The grace is now here. What can you tell us about this theme? Because it is very important.
The main aspect of this phrase, Sai's mission is my mission. The main aspect is what?
Najvažniji aspekt te izreke Sai misija, sada vaša misija.
That gone are the times where we sit and we watch.
Da su završila i prošla vremena gdje smo mi sjedili i promatrali.
It's time to become active.
Vrijeme je da postanemo aktivni.
It's time to be an active part.
Vrijeme je da postanemo aktivan dio.
Swami was very, very clear about this recently, and I know Bona will ask me a question which will make us talk about that.
Svami je vrlo nedavno bio vrlo jasan oko toga.
About how now we have to be active parts of the mission, not
Tako
passive.
je sada došlo vrijeme da više ne budemo pasivni, već da budemo vrlo aktivni sudionici Svamijeve misije.
We are going from rights to responsibilities.
Idemo od prava do odgovornosti, igra riječi.
These are Swami's words, not mine.
Da, i to su Svamijeve riječi, ne njegove. This is also connected with this, what you said, this bhakti period is still here, but we need to go step forward. We need to put ourselves in action and to be part of this.
No more comfort zone. No more comfort zone.
Yes.
Enough.
Yeah. There is no more comfort. Znači, nema više zone komfora. Dakle, trebamo izaći van iz zone komfora i početi djelovati. And when you said no more comfort zone, I remember last meeting you had with youth coordinators when you said that Swami said, now be shameless.
Yes. Yes.
Dakle, to me sad podsjetilo na zadnjem sastanku mladih prije nekih mjesec dana je Svami isto zapravo rekao da je došlo vrijeme da postanemo, da nemamo više srama, da jednostavno da postanemo, da se odvojimo. To isto, this is also part of this identification.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, correct.
To je isto dio te identifikacije, da se prestanemo poistovjećivati sa sobom, sa tijelom, sa sobom i da jednostavno zauzmemo mjesto.
And there where this identification is present, we are in our comfort zone.
Da, i tamo gdje je god prisutna ta identifikacija sa sobom, mi smo u svojoj komfortnoj zoni.
I remember Swami gave me this lesson of comfort zone thing. I won't give you the personal details, but I'll give you an idea as to what I'm talking about.
To je jedna mala priča o komfortnoj zoni koju njemu Swami dao da osvijesti.
He put me in a situation where what I was feeling from my heart was so clear.
Stavio ga u situaciju da nešto što je osjetio u svom srcu je bilo tako jasno.
But he was saying something that I couldn't understand clearly.
Ali nešto je govorio što nije mogao jasno razumjeti.
So I needed clarity.
I zato sam trebao jasnoću.
I needed to understand if he was saying the same thing that I felt inside or not.
Ja sam trebao potvrdu da li je on to ono što sam ja osjetio unutar sebe, da mi on to potvrdio.
I'm not saying that has to be the case always because Guru knows always better.
Ne kažem da to uvijek mora biti slučaj, jer guru uvijek zna kada što treba.
Let's just say I needed clarity.
Znači, recimo samo da sam ja trebao tu jasnoću, tu potvrdu.
And there where I had the chance to go and ask him physically, why not take the chance?
I kada sam imao priliku otići i pitati ga usmeno, fizički, zašto ne iskoristiti tu priliku?
But I was afraid.
Ali bojao sam se.
I was trembling in my shoes.
Ja sam drhtao u svojim cipelama.
This I can tell you after having lived the experience.
I to mogu reći nakon što sam imao iskustvo.
Because what he did there, the little play he did there, was necessary for me to go and talk to him.
Ali jedna ta igra koju je napravio, bilo je potrebno da ja odem i da ga pitam.
Go and talk to him and realize that there is no reason for fear.
There is no reason for fear. Da. Znači, ta igra se trebala dogoditi da ja odem tamo i da shvatim da nema razloga za strah.
Absolutely no reason.
Nema razloga za strah. No reason for love, no season for love. No reason for fear also. Yeah. Today, when we spoke, we start laughing when I think you said now or never. Then we also remember this Swami's quote. I think it was in 2018 during his birthday.
Yes.
Svami said now or never.
Yes.
Dakle, danas Viktor i ja smo se bili čuli prije ovog intervjua i u jednom trenutku Viktor je nešto rekao now or never u jednom drugom kontekstu, pa smo se sjetili te Svamijeve maha vakije koje je rekao 2018. Sad ili nikad. U smislu da ono sve što se treba dogoditi, dogodit će se sada ili se neće dogoditi. So, speaking about that, we can also connect this Swami's Mahavyaka now or never with this Swami's mission is your mission. And
yes.
As you said in the beginning of our interview, and that Swami's love is here, but we need to
manifest it.
Manifest it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's now or never. Actually, when Swami's, made this clear that now the mission was passing on to our shoulders.
I kada je Svami, znači sada nedavno kada je rekao i dao nam to da njegova misija ide sada na naša vremena, zapravo da mi moramo zajedno s njim prihvatiti tu misiju.
My first reaction was finally.
Njegova Victoryjeva prva reakcija je bila konačno.
Because for many years I heard him say, I am not worried. I know that all of you will carry things forward.
I zato što svih tih godina on se nije brinuo, on je znao da će stvari ići.
And honestly, I didn't give it so much importance because I thought, yeah, this is the future.
Da, i zapravo uvijek je govorio to je budućnost, to će doći u budućnosti.
But then when I saw this happen, I said, oh, okay, fine, it's happening now, finally.
Da, i zapravo kada se to konačno s vami rekao, a zapravo govorio o tim vremenima, da će jednog dana doći vrijeme kada će njegovi studenti preuzeti njegovu misiju, zapravo to vrijeme se sada dogodilo, to je vrijeme sada.
Swami had said many years ago, there will be a day when I will manifest in multiple places at the same time.
Svami je prije govorio da će se dogoditi, da će doći vrijeme kada će se on multiplicirati na mnogim mjestima istovremeno.
In Sanskrit, we have this verse, Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha, Sahasraksha Sahasrapat. All the heads are his, the hands are his, the feet are his, all the forms are his.
Imamo i tu staru izreku da su sve glave njegove, sve ruke su njegove, sve noge su njegove.
But he respects free will.
Ali on ipak poštuje slobodnu volju.
For us to be part of his words, when he said, I will manifest in multiple places, multiple locations at the same time, it depends on us whether he's going to use us or not.
I zapravo nama ovisi hoće li on, kada on kaže da će se manifestirati na mnogim mjestima istovremeno, o nama ovisi hoćemo li mi iskoristiti tu priliku da se kroz nas manifestira ili ne.
It depends on us, not on him. All the forms are his. All the forms are his.
To ovisi o nama, ne o njemu, zato što sve su forme njegove.
And if he finds a no with one form, he'll move to the next.
I ako se mi ne otvorimo kao forma, otići do druge forme.
We should keep that in mind.
Da, i to trebamo imati na umu. Victory, I'll just go to switch the lights and I will use this opportunity. Maybe, do you have some question for Victory? Or Maria, are there any maybe questions on YouTube? Evo, dok Maja gleda, mogu reći ako imate pitanja, slobodno ih postavite i na YouTube kanalu. Također sam rekao Vjera, Melita, Saša, evo ga, dragi ljudi koji ste ovdje, Dolores, Maja, Melita. Želite li možda isto postaviti neko pitanje? It is very inspirating, Victory, to listening to you. And while our brothers and sisters thinking about some questions, also there was one very important opportunity in last, I think 1 month ago. It was during opening of Swami's hospital in Fiji.
Yes.
And Swami were there for many days. And also some youth and people all around the world came who actually participate in building the hospital, and Swami invite them. And also we had the opportunity to listen to Brother Sunil from Australia, who was also invited there. And one evening Swami invited the youth. And I think it is also nice to share this information with us, what Swami said to youth. Znači, samo sam pitao Victoryja da ako može s nama podijeliti nedavno iskustvo tijekom otvorenja bolnice na Fidžiju, gdje su došli mnogi mladi iz svijeta koji su isto tako aktivno pomagali izgradnju bolnice. Jedne večeri Svami ih je i pozvao na intervju, sasvim nenadano, neočekivano. Pa sam zamolio Victoryja da podijeli s nama što je Svami rekao mladima.
Swami was there for almost 3 weeks.
Svami je bio tamo skoro 3 tjedna.
And not once he received arati.
I nijednom nije primio arati.
I think all of us present over here or who is listening online know the importance of arati.
Svi mi koji smo ovdje i koji smo sa Svamijem, svi mi znamo važnost i značaj aratija.
What it symbolizes.
To on simbolizira.
He refused. He didn't want, not even once.
On je to odbio, nije to prihvatio nijednom.
So one evening, as Borna was saying before, one evening with some of the youth present, young adults present.
Tako je tijekom jedne večeri, dok su bili mladi prisutni.
Youth as well as young adults. Swami invited them to sit at his level with him.
Svami ih je pozvao da sjednu zajedno s njim na njegovoj razini.
Their knees were almost touching.
Koljena su im se gotovo dodirivala.
And Swami said, enough now, enough of worshipping a form on the outside as divine.
I Swami je rekao dosta više štovanja vanjske forme.
All of us are divine.
Svi smo mi božanski.
All of you are God.
Vi ste vi Bog.
Now roll up your sleeves, stand by my side and carry this mission forward.
Znači, sada je vrijeme, stanite uz mene i nastavite moju misiju.
And then he dropped the bombshell.
I tada je bacio bombu.
At least for those present.
Za one koji su bili tamo nazočni.
And he said that from June onwards, he wanted that the Prashanta Bala Mandir Trust would be sustained and carried forward by all of us.
I tada je rekao da od džuna želi da Prashanti Bala Mandira Trust nastavi, da mi zapravo nastavimo tu misiju.
The Prashanta Bala Mandir Trust is the umbrella for all Swami schools.
Da, znači to je trust koji je krovni trust za sve Svamijeve škole.
The educational system or the educational part of the mission is divided into 3 verticals.
Znači, njegov obrazovni sustav je podijeljen na 3 vertikale.
The first is the group of students who need to be sustained, whose education needs to be sustained, but the families pay for their clothing and their housing.
Prva skupina su studenti koji se obrazuju, ali njihovi roditelji plaćaju za njihov boravak.
Accommodation, food.
Za boravak, znači za hranu, za odjeću.
The second vertical is such poverty that the students are sustained completely, fully. The clothing is given to them, the books are given to them, the accommodation, the tuitions, everything is given completely free of cost.
Znači, druga skupina su studenti koji su toliko siromašni da je za njih omogućeno apsolutno sve potpuno besplatno. Dakle, ne samo školovanje, nego znači i knjige, i odjeća, i hrana, i sve što im je potrebno.
This second reality, this second vertical was not present in Puttaparthi.
Ta druga razina nije bila prisutna u Puttaparthiju.
I mean, in those years it wasn't present.
Znači, u tim prošlim vremenima takva skupina nije bila prisutna.
They were free schools, yes, but there
to su bile besplatne škole.
But there were the hostel fees to be paid.
Ali su bile, znači, troškovi koji su se plaćali s obzirom na boravak tamo.
So Swami took that already wonderful mission a step further.
Znači, Svami je već u svojoj suptilnoj misli otišao korak dalje i omogućio ono što ni u Puttaparthiju nije prije bilo omogućeno.
By giving a possibility to those so poor that they can't even feed themselves.
Znači, davši priliku tim siromašnima koji su toliko zapravo siromašni da se ne mogu čak ni hraniti.
The most underprivileged of society.
Znači, najmanje privilegirani dio društva.
The last vertical carries the same theme of completely free education forward up to university level.
Znači, treća razina je da se sve to nosi skroz do one zadnje obrazovne razine, znači do razine univerziteta.
So these are the three verticals.
To su te tri vertikale.
You see, Swami has been opening projects upon projects upon projects.
Svami kontinuirano stalno otvara neke nove projekte.
But once the project is inaugurated, what happens?
Ali kada je taj projekt inauguriran, što se događa?
That project has to continue, right?
Da, projekt znači mora biti nastavljen, on mora dalje biti održiv.
So that's what Swami is shedding light upon over here.
Znači, to je ono što je Svami ovdje stavio svjetlo na to.
So Swami was very clear. He said
Bio je vrlo jasan kada je rekao.
In the beginning in Fiji, he just said this. And then when he went to India a few days later, he sent precise instructions.
I znači, to je on rekao na Fidžiju, međutim, kada se vratio bio u Indiju, poslao je vrlo jasne upute.
He said it is his wish that the younger ones, the smaller, the children,
I rekao da je njegova želja da ovi najmanji, da djeca,
should be active in this mission.
Trebaju biti aktivna u njegovoj misiji.
How? In what way?
Kako? Na koji način?
By keeping in mind every month that there are some brothers and sisters in India.
Tako da imaju na umu da postoje neka braća i sestre u Indiji
whom they can help.
Kojima mogu pomoći.
Whom they can one day even visit and help in a different way also.
Koje jednog dana mogu i čak i posjetiti i pomoći im na neki još drugačiji način.
But for the moment, if they can't move, they can help anyway.
Ali sada, iako sad ne mogu se putovati, mogu im opet svejedno pomagati.
Some people present told Swami, but Swami, the younger ones, they don't have any income, they don't have any form of money. How can they can help this mission?
I onda su rekli Svami, kada govoriš o tim mladima, najmanjima, kako oni mogu pomoći tvojoj misiji? Pa oni nemaju primanja.
Swami said, don't they have their pocket money?
Zar nemaju oni džeparac?
Don't they have their iPhones?
Zar nemaju mobilne telefone?
Swami said, see, the idea is not the money. The idea is about...
Svami je rekao, ideja nije novac. Idea is help.
Money is a different aspect. What Swami is driving at is that the younger ones should learn to sacrifice.
Dakle, Svami je rekao, nije novac tema. Tema je da se mladi nauče žrtvovati, da se nauče požrtvovnosti, da se nauče odricanju.
So when it comes to the Prashanta Bala Mandir Trust, obviously we are talking about a commitment, as Swami said.
Znači, i kada dolazimo do Prashanti Bala Mandira Trusta, znači do tog trusta koji je zadužen za sve njegove institucije, dolazimo do toga da se rekli bi, komitamo, znači da preuzemo odgovornost.
It's a commitment. It's something that becomes should become a priority if we want to be part of this. It should become our priority.
Da bi to trebalo postati nama prioritet.
So,
svijestimo koliko je to važno.
Moving up the age ladder.
Znači, dižavši ljestvicu, znači ići korak dalje.
When it comes to the age group 30 to 50, Swami was very specific, very specific.
Kada dolazimo do skupine od 30 do 50.
And he said, those who want to be part of this, those who want to be an active part of this mission.
Znači, oni koji žele biti aktivni dio te misije,
should respect what the Vedas have always cited.
Znači, trebaju poštovati i znati ono što su Vede uvijek isticale.
The Vedas have always mentioned 25% of what is yours should be given into charity.
Znači, Vede svoje govore, 25% onoga što je vaše treba ići u dobrovoljne svrhe.
Swami said, obviously, to each one their own 25%, no?
Znači, Svami je govorio 25%. You said 25% of everything.
Yeah, monthly introitus, 25%.
Znači, zapravo Svami je rekao 25% prihoda koje nam dolazi.
So Swami said, obviously, 25% of each is different.
25% can you just
25% tell me.
You say in English just to get the context.
So first he said 25% for those who are from 30 to 50 years of age, correct? And then he said obviously each person's 25% is different.
25% za svaku osobu je drugačiji, naravno.
He also said that not everybody maybe can maintain the same constancy through every month of the year.
Znači, rekao je da naravno da neće moći svako se obvezati na isti kontinuitet svakog mjeseca.
But that 25% can be used as a target figure or a rounded figure.
Ali taj 25% može biti uzet kao jedan cilj, kao namjera prema kojoj se teži.
Because maybe one month, maybe something happens in the house you have to repair, maybe you have to repair the car, etc., etc.
Zato što neki mjesec moraš nešto upraviti u kući ili na autu, pa zato neće moći biti ti 25%.
I'd like to share with you a question that came forth in another satsang when we were talking about this. I was not present, but the person who received the question told me this.
Želim s vama podijeliti nešto došlo na sastanku na kojem ja nisam bio prisutan.
What is this new thing now? Swami is talking about money. He never talked about money in the past. He never asked for money in the past. What is all this new?
Ovo se sad to događa. Dakle, Svami prije nikada nije govorio o novcima, Svami nikada nije na taj način prikupljao novce. Što se sad to događa?
When it comes to the practical aspect, this is not new.
Kad dolazimo do praktičnog aspekta, to nije novo.
Swami has always given chances to people to be active parts of his projects.
Svami je uvijek dao priliku ljudima da budu sastavni, aktivni dio njegove misije.
And please remember what was said in the beginning of this satsang. He doesn't need us.
Samo želim se prisjetiti onoga što smo rekli na početku ovog satsanga. Dakle, Svami nas ne treba. Njegova misija će se dogoditi sa nama ili bez nas.
So it's more about, the difference between now and the past lies in the fact that now Swami is opening the doors to everybody.
Razlika između sada i prošlosti je u tome što sada Svami otvara vrata svima.
In the days of old, in Puttaparthi, for example, he used to carry these things forward with small groups of people.
Dakle, u prijašnjim vremenima u Puttaparthiju oni takve stvari rade sa vrlo malim brojem ljudi.
He never involved everybody.
Nikada nije uključivao sve.
That he is doing now.
To radi sada.
So 30 to 50, he gave the round figure 25%, and he said 50 and above, each person is free to decide and evaluate within themselves if they want to be part of this, and if yes, in what manner?
Ja za skupinu iznad 50 godina Svami je dao da sami odluče hoće li i na koji način biti dionici ove misije.
Swami said it's not about maybe 10 people sending 100,000 each for the projects. It's about 100,000 people sending $5.
Dakle, ne radi se o tome da nekoliko ljudi pošalje
Projects.
I just had some connection problem. Dakle, Svami je rekao, ne radi se o tome da nekoliko ljudi šalje $1000, već da 1000 ljudi šalju po $5. Victory?
Yeah,
Okay,
this time, yeah, okay. Yeah, so basically, since when this thing came through, the way I see it personally, I would like to share with you one thing, the way I see it.
Želim s vama podijeliti kako ja na to gledam.
He could have easily just said, look here, I am done, you take things forward.
Dakle, on je jednostavno mogao napraviti, ja sam gotov, sada vi nastavite dalje.
From today, I'm going to a beach in Hawaii.
Od danas idem na plažu na Havaje.
No, he said, join me.
Ali ne, on je rekao ne, pridružite mi se.
Not only that, he gave specific instructions.
Ne samo to, nego dao je specifične upute.
He is still spoon feeding us. To do what?
On nas i dalje hrani žlicom.
You see, in Fiji, he said one very important thing during the inauguration discourse. He said, come fly with me. He said, leave the worldly ways.
On je na Fidži rekao jednu važnu rečenicu, rekao, dođite i letite sa mnom, napustite svjetovne stvari.
So when I heard these words, I said, what does he mean, leave the worldly ways?
Ja sam se pitao što znači napustite svjetovne načine.
So come fly with me means I have to be God like him. So what's the difference between human and God?
Znači, ako me poziva da letim s njim, onda se pitam koja je razlika između čovjeka i Boga.
All the gods exist for something else and for somebody else.
Svi bogovi su postojali za nekog drugog i zbog nečeg drugog.
There is nothing that is part of their existence that is for themselves.
Njihova egzistencija nije da su za sebe, nego su uvijek za druge.
Not even this much.
Čak ni ono koliko je malo ispod nokta.
And so, if he wants us to get there, if he wants us to reach that stage,
ako on želi od nas da dođemo na tu razinu, da ostvarimo to,
it has to start somewhere, no?
mora negdje to početi.
I and mine has to become yours and his or hers.
Ja i moje moraju postati njegovo i njeno.
And so that's what I mean when I say he is spoon feeding us. He is giving us instructions of how to start sacrificing.
I zapravo on nam, kad kažem hrani nas žlicom, zapravo nam pokazuje kako da se počnemo žrtvovati. Kako da krenemo na to.
It will be our responsibility as coordinators, Borna and myself present here today. It will be our responsibility.
Dakle, bit će naša odgovornost, evo spominje sebe i mene.
Side by side, each of you who will adhere to this initiative.
Znači, rame uz rame, jedan uz drugoga, svi mi koji smo čuli za tu inicijativu.
Always remind you and make you feel a part of the family.
Da se uvijek podsjećamo da imamo osjećaj da smo dio familije, dio iste same obitelji.
It's not check seva.
To nije check seva, znači...
No, in the sense of I'll sign a check and that's seva. No, it's not that.
Nije to, nije to takva seva gdje ćemo mi ispuniti ček.
On the surface it seems like that, but it's not that.
Iako se tako može činiti, ali nije tako.
Two last things I would like to say.
Dvije zadnje stvari koje bih želio reći.
This is an opportunity and nobody is forcing nobody, obviously.
Prvo to je prilika, to je stvarno prilika i niko nikoga ni na što ne prisiljava.
And through such an opportunity,
I kroz takvu priliku,
the opening of the heart, and I can tell you because I was a student with Swami, the opening of your hearts, we feel it when we are with him.
I kroz tu priliku nam se otvara srce i mi to osjećamo kada smo s njim.
So in any way or form, if you decide to respond to this opportunity,
Ili na bilo koji način,
the children feel it.
na bilo koji način na koji odlučite iskoristiti ovu priliku, djeca će to osjetiti.
They don't know what they feel, they don't know how it's happening, but they feel it because they are so close to him.
Ali djeca koja su tamo u institucijama, oni zapravo ne znaju kako se događa to da oni idu u te škole, da se omogući besplatno školovanje i sve besplatno, ali oni su tamo s njim i oni to osjećaju.
I'd like to share with you one last very small anecdote of what happened after Swami received the report of help from the first month.
I želim s vama podijeliti jednu priču što se dogodilo kada je Svami dobio izvještaj u prvom mjesecu o toj sevi.
Swami looked at all the countries and the participants from various region, 3 countries.
Svami je pogledao sve zemlje, sve regije, sve sudionike koji su se javili da sudjeluju u misiji.
And he had tears in his eyes.
I imao je suze u očima.
And he said, look, even Russia and Ukraine people are giving something.
I rekao je, pogledajte, čak i ljudi iz Ukrajine i Rusije daju nešto.
He said, it's not about how much. It is the fact that they are willing to sacrifice.
Dakle, i ne radi se tome koliko daju, nego radi se tome da su oni spremni se žrtvovati.
He had tears in his eyes.
Imao je suze u svojim očima.
He was so moved.
Koliko je bio dirnut. Thank you, Victory.
Thank you, Bonna. Thank you.
Thank you, Victory. Thank you, Swami, for this opportunity to transcend ourselves and go beyond from I to we to him.
I'd like to also, I mean, maybe in the meantime, when you think if there are questions you need to ask, you want to ask.
Prilika je doista možda ako je bilo neko pitanje, Maja, ili ako neko od vas želi postaviti pitanje.
Swami doesn't want us to suffer or make ourselves or hurt ourselves, sorry.
Svami ne želi da mi patimo ili da povrijedimo sebe.
To be a part of a family and help someone who is your family, even though it doesn't seem like it, is what Swami is doing here.
Znači, ono što Svami ovdje radi jest da svi osjetimo da smo dio obitelji i da pomažemo nekome iz te obitelji, iako mu možda i nemamo osjećaj da je on član naše obitelji.
I'll tell you one thing further also. There was a person, somebody, I don't know who, it doesn't matter, had sent an offer from one of his projects, but they had removed from themselves for their own need. They had removed.
Dakle, želim ispričati jednu anegdotu o jednoj osobi koja je za jedan projekt je nešto ponudila.
And Swami said to send the money back.
Swami je rekao, ne, vratite toj osobi novac nazad.
This is not the way, Swami said. You have to understand the reason and how to go about doing this. I don't want you to hurt yourselves, Swami said.
Swami je rekao, ne, vi morate razumjeti način kako se to radi. Ja ne želim da vi povrijeđujete sebe.
Let's remember always that I and mine is the mind which goes closing.
Da, i sjetimo se uvijek toga da ja i moje je povezano sa umom. I to nekako uvijek ide jedno s drugim.
And anything that goes beyond I and mine is the opening of the heart.
A sve što ide izvan i iznad toga ja i moje je ono što je povezano s otvaranjem srca.
And he's giving us a chance like this because maybe here first we start, we say, okay, fine, let's imagine that we decide we want to be part of this.
Da, ok, sad recimo primjerice da mi odlučimo da mi želimo biti dio toga.
With all sincerity, with all the love in your heart, you say, I will be part of this.
Sa svojom iskrenošću kažemo želimo biti dio toga.
slowly it starts growing in you.
To polako počinje rasti u nama.
Slowly you start feeling him more and more day by day.
I polako ga možemo sve više na taj način osjećati unutar sebe.
And this is not specifically for what we are talking about today.
To nije samo zbog toga o čemu mi danas ovdje govorimo.
This is generally speaking, any seva, any thing that I open my heart to.
I to se govori generalno, dakle, što god mi radimo kao sevu je ono što nam otvara srce.
That is the spiritual meaning of Jesus knocking on the door, right?
To je to duhovno značenje kada Isus kuca na naša vrata.
He's knocking on the door for us to open it, but once we open it, he'll pull it open.
Da, i jedanput kada on kuca na naša vrata, kada mi otvorimo naša vrata srca, jednostavno vrata su otvorena i on ulazi unutra.
This is one of the ways he is giving us a chance to open that door so he can pull it open and help us.
Da, i to je način kako on nama pomože da mi iznutra otvorimo vrata i onda će i on ta vrata moći otvoriti. Thank you, Victoryja. Yeah, it was very clear and very inspiring. And thank you for sharing us all these very fresh informations from Svami. Thank you also for sharing your personal stories regarding your young days in Prashanti and also days in Italy and in Sisi and in your personal struggling days. When you said that Swami came and picked you up and saved you, I think all of us have the same feeling and the same, moves. How Swami came, pick us and save us and give us this feeling of what love is really and how can we be in that love all the time. Your words and these satsangs remind us of everything we know. And I think now we can be even more stronger in this decision that go out of our comfort zone and really take this God-given opportunity to walk side by side with our God and find our God in ourselves. And that one day really we can say that Sai Baba think, work and love through all of us.
Yes.
And that him and all of us are one. Before we give lots of love to all of our brothers and sisters who are watching and will be watched this through YouTube. Maybe if you have a question or something to add or ask Brother Victory, now is the opportunity.
Thank you. That's all. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Victory.
No,
thank you.
I just want to thank you very much for all the clarifications and putting in the right context and everything. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Sasha. Thank you.
And from my behalf too, thank you very much, Victory. You gave us lots of answers to unspoken questions.
I'm happy. Thank you. Yes, it's important for us to never stop at the face of things. In Swami, it's never like that. It's never the face of things. Never the face of things.
Ono što je Victory na početku govorio, zapravo kod Svamija nije samo sve ono vanjska razina i jedna razina, već ima i puno dublju razinu. Thank you, Victory, one more time. And we are happy to have opportunity to speak with you.
Same here.
And thank you for all these informations and thank you for invitation to Assisi. One more time, još jednom dajte poziv za Assisi u prvom tjednu rujna. poziv je poslan mladima, ali ćemo poslati poziv još i na liste. Čuli ste da nije to samo za mladi ispod 45 godina, već i za sve one putnike, namjernike koje putevi Božji dovedu do Asizija, a time i do ašrama koji ondje postoji. Evo, čuli smo jednu divnu priču dok je Victoryja još bio u majčinoj utrobi, kako je Svami tijekom jedne večeri okupljenima, gdje su bili njegovi roditelji, materializirao predmet gdje je bila Indija i s druge strane bilo 18 dijamanata i je rekao, evo ga, to su moji ašrami. Sretni smo što je jedan takav u Italiji i vjerujemo i nadamo se da će uskoro i u Hrvatskoj, kao što je Svami 2015. rekao, biti ašram. Victoryji, hvala još jednom na ljubavi, na mudrosti i na prilici da idemo beyond. Hvala svima i do neke iduće prilike, neka je lijepa i ugodna večer svima. Sairam i Jai Bhagavan.
Sairam.
Sairam. Hvala.
Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam.
Thank you, Sairam.
Hvala svima i laku noć. Good night, Victoryja. All the best.
Hvala i tebi.
Good night, Sairam. Sairam.